This is Maneesh Vijaya from PM Pulse, and I'm just about conducting a session here on PMP, Project Management Professional, on 6th edition, PMBOK 6th edition. And this is a lunch break, so I just thought I'll take this time to talk about something which is very close to my heart. I'm a member of a lot of LinkedIn groups and Facebook groups which talk about project management and PMP certification. And I'm usually very pained by people when they talk about mugging up certain aspects like tools and techniques, inputs and outputs, trying to understand all the 49 processes. Well, that really pains me because it clearly means that you have either read a book which actually asks you to do that, or you've attended such sessions or trainings where the trainers have asked you, there's only one way to go ahead, and that is mug up. Believe me, I'm sorry, this is not the right way. You're missing the whole point. The great thing about PMP, it's very practical. You need to understand the practical aspect. And believe me, the moment you understand the practical aspect, it is much easier to answer questions. I'll just give you one of the hundreds of different patterns that I usually tell people. I'll just share one with you. For example, if you would have heard of a tool or technique called decomposition. Decomposition basically means to break something down, right? The moment you see decomposition, you need to understand that decomposition is a tool and technique of only 2 processes. There are 49 processes, but out of 49 processes, the tool and technique of decomposition is of only 2 processes. The very first one is create WBS, and the second one is define activities. In create WBS, we decompose work or major deliverables into smaller deliverables till the time we reach work packages. And when we talk about define activities, we simply mean that we take the WBS or work packages, to be exact, and break it down further into activities. Convert work packages into activities. And that's it. The moment you see the term decomposition or breaking down, right, in any of the questions in the exams, it only means they're talking about any one of these 2 processes and nothing else. Either they're talking about WBS or create WBS, to be exact, for process, or they're talking about define activities. It makes it so simple. Let me give you another example. Why you should never mug up. I was just talking to some of the participants, and they were asking me, hey, do we have to remember all these tools and techniques, and do we have to remember all the processes and what they do? I say, you don't have to. You just have to understand them. You need to know the logic behind it, and suddenly it becomes very easy. So for example, again, taking the example of WBS, if you really understand what is the purpose of WBS, you will understand the whole scheduling as well. It's that easy, right? So let's say the whole purpose of WBS is to find all possible activities. The whole purpose of WBS is to find all possible activities up front when you plan, so that you don't miss out any activities and you don't get into a firefighting mode by discovering activities towards the end of the project which you have not planned for, not budgeted for, no resources are available for that. That's called firefighting. You need to avoid that. How do you avoid it? You create a WBS. But then how do you create a WBS? Well, it's very sad that most of the books, most of the trainers, they talk about that WBS is like converting deliverables into activities. They are absolutely wrong. I'm sorry, they're absolutely wrong. The whole purpose of WBS is to take major deliverables and break it down into smaller deliverables. In fact, you keep breaking it down to an extent where you cannot break it down into another deliverable. You cannot break it down into another noun. The moment you reach a place, you reach a level of decomposition where if you break it down any further, it can only be broken down in terms of an activity. You stop because there are no activities in WBS. That means the work package, which is the lowest level in a WBS, is the smallest noun or the smallest deliverable. And you stop. But remember, the whole purpose of making a WBS is to find all possible activities. But we have not listed down any activities because there are no activities in WBS, and that's what the beauty is. This is your scope baseline. WBS is your scope baseline. And guess what is it that you have to do? The very first thing when you are creating a schedule, you have to find all possible activities. And how do you find all possible activities? Simple. You take a WBS which has already been made, take all the work packages, work with your technical staff, work with SMEs, subject matter experts, and actually take one work package, break it down completely, basically by saying what are the activities needed for this work package, move to the next work package, find all activities needed for this work package, move to the next, and guess what you get? You get a list of all possible activities. That's it. So now if you really understand WBS properly, you will suddenly understand that you don't have to remember inputs and outputs. Now, how do you create a WBS? What do you need to create a WBS? All you're trying to do is break it down into deliverables. So obviously you need requirements document. You need the scope management plan because it will tell you what is the scope of this project. And you need that specification document, which in PMI is known as scope statement. And you can check those are the major inputs. You don't have to remember, it's logic. And of course the output is a WBS or a scope baseline, which is basically containing the WBS. Now this WBS is needed in define activities to convert it into activities. So the input would be scope baseline, as simple as that. There's nothing to it. And the tool and technique is to break it apart, which is decomposition, and the output would be activity list. Of course, when you come out with activity list, you usually also come out with milestones, and you also have some special notes about those activities called activity attributes. Voila! Two processes done. You don't have to remember input, tools and techniques because it's logic. Do you see how easy it is? You need to be taught like this. Read the books that I have written on PMBOK, which is called Read and Pass Notes, or attend my session. That's why we have almost 100% passing rate. And it's not because of like we are special or something. It's nothing. You just need to understand PMBOK. The better you understand, the faster you can answer questions. Questions in exams are usually situational, right? Which means their grammar, the words that they use, they may change. The problem is if you remember if you mug up all the concepts, you'll be very fixated on a specific grammar. And if in the question the grammar changes a bit, you've had it. They would probably be asking the same thing, but you didn't get it because you mugged up in a different vocabulary using a different grammar. And that's a problem. Never let that happen. Understand the logic, give the answer. This is Maneesh Vijaya. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.